What's up, everybody? It's your boy Will. I'm here at the Fight Gods podcast. I'm here with my co-host Nico, and we have a special guest tonight. His name is Shawn Spilman, a close personal friend of mine, more like a brother, and we're real happy to have him in the building. Shawn, how's it going tonight, man?
Man, thank you, Nico and Will. Just blessed to be with y'all. While you had me sitting in the back room, I saw that little face-off with you and Nico. I was like, damn, that looks like they're really about to get it in. Your graphics are nice, but thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you, man. I don't want him to beat me up, bro. We only just make the graphics. I don't really face off with him. But Nico, what's going on, man?
I was getting Nate versus Connor vibes right there.
Nate versus Connor in the building. Oh man. But yeah, man, we wanted to have you on, talk a little bit about some fight movies, about MMA, about, I don't know, whatever else, man, about me and you fighting people in parking lots, whatever you want to talk about, bro.
Hey, yo.
We can talk all about it, man.
Well, listen, man, I will say this, man. When I met you at Taco Bell many, many moons ago, you always came off polite, but I knew you were solid. But I didn't get to see that until a mutual friend of ours was getting jumped in a parking lot for lack of self-incrimination. We won't give the area, but we whooped some ass that night. Will, you're strong, man.
Nico, man. Shawn's a little bit taller than I am, man. I'd say you're about 6'1". Is that right?
Yeah, if I have some shoes on, yeah.
He's about 6'1". So, like, I had this dude tied up, Nico, and he would say duck, and I'd put my head down under his chin, and he'd punch him. I'd pop my head back up. I would slam this dude in the car, put my head down again, and he would punch him, bro. He's like, he just kept telling me when to duck. It was like a damn movie, man.
That's
It was
wild.
funny as hell, bro.
Let me give you a setting, because if you listen to that, it sounds like we're jumping a guy, right? So Will was starting his rap career, right?
Yep.
And he had a big white jacket on. It was cold out. We were in his little car. And you know the little cars, you're like right next to each other, right?
Yeah.
So I'm listening to my brother's raps, and we're at the mall, and I look in the mirror, and I see a mutual friend of mine getting jumped by 3 other dudes. And they giving it to him, but he's a fighter. I said, Will, that's one of my friends. So we jump out, and we kind of settle the score. But we getting into it, and me and Will have never fought beside. He got this one guy locked. So I hit him. I said, Will, drop. Comes to find out the guy that I hit. He said, yo, Khalil, it's me. So it was another mutual friend. So,
Yo.
It was wild, man.
me and Will were trying to get the footage. We wanted to watch the footage, but we never found it. That would be some good footage. Hey, by the way, totally side note, who is that guy in the front rolling those punches like that?
Oh, man, we can't tell you, man. We can't
That
tell
guy
you.
That guy got some hands like your daddy, man. Hey, we need to do a show about his daddy.
Hey, that's actually Nico shadow boxing at the beginning, man.
No, cut it out. That's stop.
But look, Nico, the funniest thing is that, like, so all this happened, bro, and for that fight, right? And before it's all over, we see the cops pulling up, and he's like, "Go to the bathroom," and I'm like, "The bathroom?" He's like, "Go in the bathroom." He's like, "I'll be right there." I go in the bathroom, and I'm like, "What the fuck's he want me in here?" He comes in there, and bro, my white flight coat had blood all over it from the dude that he was punching. So he's in the bathroom, and look, we're like in a movie, like wiping blood off of my flight coat with wet naps and shit, man. This shit was wild, bro.
Will, you are crazy.
Nah, man, I was just like, whatever, man. Hey, because I had known the dude a little bit, the one that got jumped, not that well, but he said it was his friend. So I was like, fuck it, man. It's like, I ain't been in a fight in a while. Let's go ahead and
let's get it
test the skills. But
But
yeah, man. So I was telling Nico last week just some of the stuff that you had done. I wanted to ask you about that, about the interview with Maya Angelou. How did that come about, man?
Yeah, man, that's dope.
It's crazy you said that. Me and my wife were just talking about happily newly married.
Yeah. Best man, Nico, just so you know, man.
She's right there watching me. So, hey, baby. I would show you her, but she's kind of in her nightgown. So maybe I'll get lucky. No, all jokes aside, Will was my best man for my wedding. Couldn't ask for a better brother, right? So the Maya Angelou thing. I have a mutual friend, James Watson, who said, hey, I'm pitching this idea to Wake Forest, her center. They're going to give us a chance. So we went and bid on the whole process. So we started filming some of the minority doctors at Wake Forest. They liked our 8-minute piece we put together. They flew us into New York, and I was so excited because Maya's in Winston and seen her a few times, but to really get to meet her, this is before we did her documentary or filmed her at her house. So they're prepping us like we get ready to meet God on Judgment Day. They're like, don't say this to her. Don't do this. Don't do this. So we got a whole, so I'm like scared as hell. What the hell can we do, right? So they say, oh, she wants to see the producer because we had 3 cameras. It was me, James Watson, and a kid named Andrew Kennedy. He was a student at Chapel Hill. Now, we're in New York. All the big wigs are doing this big donor. She says she wants to see the main producer. So I go back in there, and I have my suit on, me, James. And so everybody's around her, and she clears out the way and starts talking to me. And she says, you want some wine? You want something to drink? And just totally lowered my nervous energy. I'm not a drinker or a smoker, but I was like, no, I'm good. So I said, hey, James, get a picture of me. So she was in a wheelchair. May she rest in peace. I got a picture of her, right? Me and her. And so I've been talking about this forever. I'm going to write a book called Me, small, grammatically incorrect, Me and Maya Angelou, My Short Time with Maya, because that day led into meetings with her, filming at her house, and some other stuff that I'd like to reveal in the book. But I've been talking about this book forever. So I'll tell you this, man. I'll say this as humble as I can. They didn't want the camera people to be on her before she started speaking. She was having some breathing problems, and she had her oxygen on. So all the cameras are off, and she was literally asleep in that bitch. You hear me?
Yeah.
I hope her people after me. She was asleep in there. Soon as they mentioned her name, boom, she awoke. And she is the best orator. Probably her, T.D. Jakes, or Minister Farrakhan are the best orators that I have seen in my personal life, in person. I was just there mesmerized. So she was great at what she did. And it was there that we got to show the 8-minute piece of the doctors and her. And it led to a beautiful relationship, man. But yeah, sorry, that was long-winded. But
nah, you're good.
Like it's Judgment Day.
That's amazing, man.
Y'all ever had this?
I have had that. It's got the chunks in it.
Man, it's great.
I like the pineapple, man. Is that what that is, pineapple?
I got the mango. I had the pineapple yesterday.
Yeah. You ever had that, Nico?
I think I have had it. That has the pulp in it and stuff.
Yeah, I'll make your stomach feel good, man. I got a bottle in the fridge right now, actually.
You either love it or you hate it right when you drink it.
I like it, man. I like it a lot. If I got a stomach ache, man, that's a good way to go.
You ever had this, man?
Cheers.
Hold on. Let me see. Can you follow me to the... Are we allowed to move the camera?
Yeah, do what you got to do, man. I knew it, man.
Hey,
cheers to both you guys.
Boy.
I learned that from Will. I used to go to his house. I'd be on the run from Durham, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not really on the run. Will knows what I'm talking about. And he'd always feed me a good meal and a Coca-Cola. Yeah. Hey, Will, you need to get Coca-Cola sponsor your podcast.
We're trying. That's why we have it every episode.
Man. Every episode, we cheers to some Coca-Cola, man. But yeah, man. So one of the things that we did want to talk to you about is some fight movies, and it's really, it doesn't have to be the best fight movies or fight scenes. You know, I was thinking about it, and really, let's just talk about our favorite fight scenes. And I know a few years back when I interviewed you for MMACS.net, may it rest in peace. That was a company I was working for. That you had talked about that one scene with Steven Seagal when he walks in the pool hall. I think it's in is it Out for Justice? And I love the way you talked about it, man. Did you want to talk about that scene real quick?
Sure. The Out for Justice was 1991. What was the one in 1990? He had a pool scene as well. There was only 3 guys, right? But be honest with you.
Above the Law.
Above the Law, yes.
Yeah.
Think about that. In that scene that they filmed for that, think about it. Steven Seagal was always the tough guy, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's something in his energy. Of course, we know he's a real martial arts master, right? it's something about his energy that most men would love to have, right? He was confident. He was good looking at the time. The women loved him with his tight jeans, his ponytail. But he would kick.
Chain.
Yep.
Right. He would kick some ass. So now I don't remember exactly what I spoke to you about that, but in my humble opinion, when I was telling you about that, I said that's not really practical in the gang life or the street life that we come up fighting in, right? Because if us three are somewhere and we really got a beef with a person and we know he's a Steven Seagal, will you grab him? I'm going to punch him. Nico, you jump up and kick him in the head and it's over with, right? I see your kick, brother.
Hey,
but then I looked at it again tonight to prep myself, to try to get prepped. And I said, damn, it does look believable. It does. Maybe I'm just getting older and getting slower and I want to believe in Steven Seagal like he's Superman, right? So I was looking at that fight scene again and I was like, it's a little more believable than at first I thought it wasn't. But it may be believable in the premise that some of the people aren't trained fighters. They're just drinking at the bar, right?
Yeah.
So, man, I love that fight scene, man. But, that thing is amazing, brother.
It's a classic fight scene. It really, when he puts the pool ball inside the towel and he rolls it up.
Yeah.
Classic.
Classic, man.
I never like to get punched. I like to slip and weave. So if I was fighting Steven Seagal and he started rolling the ball, I wouldn't have been like the dumbass biker in the beginning. I'm going to cut you alive.
Yeah. Get your nose busted over.
Hold on. Let me rethink that. Give me some distance between them. Because he's not rolling the ball to look pretty, right? But not to get off subject, right? I think when you find men, I'm trying to draw a parallel between Steven Seagal and Denzel Washington. You've seen Denzel Washington in what was the last two movies he came out where he's kicking everybody's ass?
Equalizer. Yeah.
Don't they both exude this? I mean, I know it's Hollywood. In Hollywood, it's okay. You can be confident. You can, because it's not real life. Real life, we have nerves. We know that there could be an ending to our existence if we don't win. Yeah. I told my wife the other day, I watch a lot of this. Babe, what's that new show you love? The Black Millionaires? I think she left on it. But scenes where the mafia, the black and the essays, the Latinos, they get together and they're getting ready to shoot it out with each other.
Oh, the BMF show? Black Mafia Family?
No, not that. Kurt, baby, where you at? But anyways, in this show, all the shootout scenes, right? Before they get ready to kill each other, they're all so fucking calm and tough. I'm like, I told my baby, that's bullshit. That's why I need to stop playing and get back to filmmaking. Because when we get ready to go to war, you got your guns, I got my guns, they're drawn. Everybody's nervous. It's tense. Because the primary job is to protect your body, right?
Right.
You start Nico, you've been fighting. Will, you've been fighting. No matter how tough we think we are, before we get into action, we get those nerves start rolling, right? Yep. So I said, even with Dick Wolf and all his series and stuff, I said, man, it's not realistic because they don't show the scared side of it.
Yeah.
So, maybe when we start filming again, we'll start showing people trying to show that element.
Right. Hey, as ridiculous as it sounds, man, you remember what is it, Rocky V, Nico? When Rocky tells Tommy Gunn, he's like, hey, Frankie Fear's your best friend. Like, if you're not scared going into a fight, you're gonna lose. That's true. I never have been in a fight, a wrestling match, anything that I wasn't nervous. You gotta have that nervous energy because if you don't have it, I'd say that's the time you're gonna get your ass kicked for real. But Nico, I know growing up, and we've talked about it a little bit on the show, anytime I was at your house, there was some kind of fighting movie on or a Western. That's all your dad used to allow on the TV, or boxing or wrestling. What fight scenes do you enjoy? And by the way, hold on, before you answer that question, I had a little flashback when I was thinking about this show today. Okay. And I wanted to ask you, how old were you in like 93, 94? Probably 1994.
Four. Yeah, 494, July.
I remember like 93, 94. And this is probably like one of my earliest memories of Nico. And I remember being over there when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 came out on video. And this dude's in there with like the Vanilla Ice song in the background playing and the Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go. And this dude is over there watching all these fight scenes like over and over. So I just wanted to point that out. And, you know, I used to watch that with him when he was a little boy. But go ahead, Nico. I'll go ahead and listen, man.
Yeah, like currently probably when it comes to fight scenes, I would go with like a movie like The Raid Redemption. Where like Mad Dog fought Xhaka, and he came into the room and he just told him like, "This is what I do," before they got scrapping. That's
you told me to watch that movie. I need to write that down. That's a classic
fight. But all of the raids are classics, man. Honestly, the first one was the first one he fights like a hallway full of dudes and he throws homie over the balcony and breaks his back and jumps through a fucking door frame and slams his neck across the broken door frame. Like it gets so wild, man. Those are really good scenes. Even if you just went on YouTube and typed in the raid fight scenes, you would see some shit that would just blow your mind when it comes to like hand-to-hand combat.
I'll have to check that out, man. Guy by the name, what's his name? Iko Ways or something like that. Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out, man. I'll check that out.
But of course, like I love Steven Seagal flicks too. Like I love Above the Law. I love everything that he did back in the 90s, man.
Hard to Kill.
Yeah,
Out for Justice.
Come on, man. It's just all classics. Yeah.
I remember a lot of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies being on at your house too, man.
Yeah, for sure. Jean-Claude got a lot of love in the crib. Definitely, man.
See, and those guys.
Bloodsport was classic, man. Bolo.
Real good. Yeah.
Classic shit.
And those guys, they might not be the most practical fighters. And we, you know, what you talked about earlier, and a lot of it is practical, but man, those guys, especially Jean-Claude Van Damme, could do some shit, man, that was like just ahead of his time, really. That dude was doing some wild stuff, man, that you're like, holy shit. And I know he had to have been doing most of his own stunts at least. But at the same time, while that was going on, and little did we know that Jackie Chan was doing the same thing, but we just didn't get to see him in America till a couple years later, you know.
Jackie changed the game though when he got over here, man. Like his style of martial arts, yeah, man. Yeah, it was dope. Seriously.
So let me ask you guys a question. You have somebody like Jackie Chan, who is a movie star and obviously is well knowledged in the arts, and then you have Jet Li, who doesn't do any of the comedy stuff. He seems more of like a badass. Are those guys like on the same level, or what's the difference between guys like that, Nico? Any idea?
I think they both legit. Both legit. They're very good traditional martial artists. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're both very skilled. Jackie just has the like comedy aspect and performance down a little more. Jet Li, like Romeo Must Die, one of my favorite flicks, dude. He
so good.
Murdered it in that. Or what was it with Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Lethal Weapon, what?
4.
Which one? 4?
Yeah.
Yep. Classic again, man, with the white jacket on. I'm badass, bro.
Bro, some of the stuff he did in that was amazing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. What about you, Shawn? Are you a fan of those guys?
Yes, sir. But I think to add on to what he said, that them really being real martial artists is one, right? And just as getting like opened up to, I mean, of course, growing up, we watched all the old Chinese movies that were really fake, where guys would fly 30 feet in the air and stuff. So I think for American people to get a taste of, you know, the Chinese or the Oriental fighters, of course, everybody was big on Bruce Lee, right? I think that was amazing for us, you know. So I always thought with Jackie Chan, man, this guy is a genius, because to be able to come to America and do what he has done financially, and, you know, I just thought was amazing. You know, I read a little bit about him, and so he was amazing. But just to add to his point, you know, real martial artists, you know, like not trying to, this is the thing about Jean-Claude, right? That how did he learn? I mean, he was a great athlete. He was amazing, but you guys might be able to educate me. Was he really trained in the arts, or what was the history with him?
What did he do, Will? Hapkido?
That sounds about right. I can
don't know. I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't have a clue.
I don't think
know he's flexible.
I don't think anybody knows. That's the thing that, I remember watching Arsenio Hall, who was one of my favorite guys, and he asked Steven Seagal who would win in a fight between him and old boy, and he says he's an actor. That's what Steven Seagal said. But
yeah.
But the thing is, and I'm looking at it now, Jean-Claude Van Damme actually does have a 18-1 kickboxing record.
Stop lying, Will.
No, and 44-4 in amateur kickboxing. Serious.
Really?
Will, stop it.
And his styles are karate.
Where's the footage, Will?
I know that's what Google says, but can you actually trace the
source? Stop, Will.
I'll look. I mean, hey, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just telling you what they're saying. But it says Taekwondo, karate, and Muay Thai and kickboxing are his styles. Let's see. I did find a fight from 1979 of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
The brother's been around for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's fighting in 79.
I'll tell you one guy who was a legit fighter that made a couple movies. Don the Dragon Wilson. That dude was legit, and he actually did compete quite a bit. I'm sure you know that, Nico. But
facts.
He was a legit fighter. But what do you guys think of like the newer, and they're not even newer now, but they're like the more prevalent martial arts actors like Scott Adkins and Michael Jai White? What do you guys think of those guys? They're pretty advanced. Although they're not as big of stars as Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme were back in the day, they're still pretty advanced compared to what those guys were doing. What do you think?
Michael Jai White is to me been phenomenal. Like, I just think he's a phenomenal actor, phenomenal fight. I just say like this: I grew up fighting all my life, and I watched him and Kimbo Slice doing some behind the scenes stuff. Are you familiar with that interview?
Yeah.
When he was teaching Kimbo Slice just a straight punch.
Yeah.
Just to watch Kimbo and being so humble, because Kimbo was a real tough fighter, backyard fights and fighting for money. And he's believable to me. There's a lot of people that call him out and say he's a fake and they want to fight him. But I believe the brother. I mean, I got to train with Shehan Shamik and some of those brothers that per se weren't in the UFC or weren't like really recognized as world-class fighters in the sports arenas or boxing or that. But I fought with these dudes in the street, and these dudes were dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not fought against them, but with them against other people. And so I believe he's a real deal. What about you, Nico?
100%. I think Michael Jai White, for sure, he got the juice. You can't take shit away from Scott Adkins. He is training his ass off every day to do the kicks that he does. He does his own stunt work. I'm very familiar with the interview with Kimbo Slice and him teaching him the straight line work. I love that. Seen video footage of Michael Jai White in competitions, booming dudes with side kicks. He's definitely legit, 100% legit. And his movies are pretty damn good.
Yeah. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I agree.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Nico.
That was it. I was just gonna say his movies are pretty damn good too. Like, and they range from like good martial arts movies to what's the movie that he does? Black Dynamite. That shit is funny too.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead, Shawn. You were gonna say something?
I was just gonna ask both y'all because I have adult deficit disorder. I'm all over the place, right? My buddy says I need to start a podcast. He says you need to be called Off Subject. I'm gonna turn around and interview you guys one day, but just something for you guys, totally off subject. What made y'all come up with that name? That name is gangster, man. Let me say this real fast. Plugger. I did a Foaming at the Mouth DVD series where I used to interview celebrities. Will gave me that name. Will is a genius, brother.
Nah, he is. He comes up with the crazy ideas.
He stays up at night and he's praying and he's writing stuff down. He don't just – no, he's good. But go ahead. I'm sorry, guys.
The Fight Gods podcast. I actually came up with it a couple years ago, and I did some episodes with my buddy Nick. It just didn't really work out at the time, and plus, there just wasn't that much accessible to us where we could do it remotely like we do it now. So like I had to go over his house every time we were going to do it, and it's just our schedules and different things like that just didn't work out too well. But you know, like on the forums and stuff like that, or YouTube videos, they're like, "Oh man, I really hope this fight happens. I hope nobody gets hurt. I'm praying to the fight gods." Like kind of like, you know, they're saying, "Oh, I hope nothing happens that," or oh, Connor's gonna make a comeback. I'm praying to the fight gods that he's gonna fight Nick for the Nate for the third time.
Yeah.
So I started seeing that, and I'm like, man, fuck that. I'm gonna start a podcast called The Fight Gods, and just, you know, so I just went with that. There's something I've actually been meaning to tell you about the foaming at the mouth name, because Nico, what it was I had actually made like a mixtape of Eminem stuff back in like probably like the early 2000s. But it's so funny because that's how it started, was with an Eminem mixtape. And bro, in one of Logic's final songs, it's with him and Eminem. It's called Homicide, and he says that I'm foaming at the mouth. You got to hear that, man. You got to hear that, because I crack up every time I hear it. But I just never remember to tell you about that, man. But yeah, so the Fight Gods, that's where that came from, and yeah, man, just you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I was gonna throw in there Michael Jai White. I wouldn't want to fight him, honestly, bro. That dude looks like he would like he'd fuck somebody up.
You got the juice for sure.
Yeah. But then you have some people that I just, you know, you see them doing some stuff on screen, and then you're like, I don't know, I don't really believe you're really like that. Like Wesley Snipes, he does some cool shit, but it's like, come on, man, can you really fight? And then you saw the whole Joe Rogan thing when he was trying to fight him. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
When Joe Rogan was like challenging him. And I mean, you know, Taekwondo is good. It's a good form of martial arts. Cool. It's more for show though, because I had a friend when I was in, I would say like about
here he goes again.
No, about 9th or 10th grade. Again. And he used to talk about being like a Taekwondo black belt. But anytime I wrestled him, I would just hold him down. He really couldn't do anything. Like, I'm not saying I beat him up or anything, but anytime I got a hold of him, I mean, all those flashy kicks and shit, they didn't do anything. You know I'm right, Nico. Anytime I would just get a hold of this dude and wrestle him, that would be the end of it, man.
I don't think that's all you can bring to the party, but there's definitely some
Taekwondo?
Yeah, that's not all you can bring to the party, but there's definitely some benefits that come along with knowing how to throw kicks like that.
Brandon said I have a cassette of Eminem tapes. Actually, it's CDs, but I do have a good collection, man. And he said to put some respect on Blade's name. He saved Marvel, man. I never watched one Blade movie in my life. Just to be honest with you, I watched a few minutes of one of them. Just not really my thing.
Yo, honestly, Will, my dad.
I know.
You know that shit?
Yeah.
Respect that shit.
He helped choreograph something on there, right?
Yo, facts. That whole scene in the circle at the end. Facts.
Really? That's awesome. Yeah.
Can I tie a circle together?
Sure, man.
Oh, Nico, even though I haven't had the pleasure of meeting your daddy, I feel like he's my soul brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the few white men in the world, listen to me, brother, that Minister Farrakhan will call in to come and train some of his Fruit of Islam.
Yeah.
Right.
I was privileged to train with some of the brothers out the nation, even though I was an Orthodox Muslim, Sunni Muslim. We used to cross-train, right? Mm-hmm. And some of those brothers are dangerous. A lot of them are just for show, right? Like any organization, right? Some of those brothers are very dangerous, right? And so your dad has a unique story. He's a soul brother, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that like some people have souls that are obvious. And just when Will told me who his uncle was, I was like, no, you don't understand. This guy's a legend. He's like, yeah, I know. I said, no, but you don't understand. Listen, it tied into so many people I trained with. Like you start thinking about Shehan Shamik, Moses Powell.
Yeah.
But tie that in, Wesley Snipes. Look how that 6 degrees of separation. Wesley Snipes, I don't know why he always went with the karate, taekwondo kind of style when he could have went with Sanuka's Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, what Moses Powell taught him.
Actual.
Wesley Snipes had a tribute to his 10 masters, and one of his best masters was the black master, Moses Powell, Grandmaster Moses Powell, who has had such an impact on the martial arts world, i.e. especially the black masters in the United States. You could ask your daddy about him. Moses Powell was that. And so I have my own stories about Moses, but not to get sidetracked. Will, how do I share this? I'm on my cell phone, but I can't see my Facebook. Do I have to? We'll do that next time, right?
Yeah, that's fine, man. I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, can I say something real fast? Totally off subject. I just want to give a shout out to my brother back home, Billy Cyril. Pray for his family, y'all. Not trying to bring a gloom to the show. His son was murdered a few days ago, and it was a horrific way.
Oh, shit. R.I.P.
His son was 19 years old with a lot of life. We got to love these young people. We got to speak life into them. Billy, I've cried with you. I want to talk about a great fighter. Me and Billy grew up fighting. This kid is an Indian kid. He had hands like this. And when a dog would get loose, I swear to God, we'd fight Asians, whites, blacks, everybody together. This Indian kid was tough, right? When a dog would get loose, we'd all run. He'd get down low and hit the dog. It was crazy. So, Billy, if you're seeing this, I'll send it to you. We love the Cyril family. Justice for Tyrone. Thank you. His son, 19 years old. Can you imagine? We're not supposed to bury our own children.
How old? 19?
19. Beautiful soul, man. Beautiful soul.
Hey, we have a friend of ours that's watching that's Indian right now. Nico, is he tough, man?
Brandon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's tough as hell, yeah. Yo,
that's what I heard, man.
Yo,
I heard he's got the one-hitter quitter, man.
Hard as nails.
That's what Billy Cyril has still today. At our age, he still has it. Let me say this. Let me digress.
Brendan Carl's hand goes hand, forearm, no wrist. It's just hand, forearm. He'll put his whole shit through your head. It's crazy. Pause.
We're talking about fights. There was this young Spanish Crip, or I think he was a Crip. He went to South Kitsap High School. He said he was going to fight my friend Billy Cyril after school. So he brought some of his black homeboys. We had a multicultural group, Samoans, black, white. So we get to the big circle. Billy's standing face to face with the dude. He says, yeah, okay. He turns, look, he drops his shoulder, bang, hits his homeboy, knocks him out, and we start fighting. Best move ever. I'm not making this up. Will, Billy and the guy are getting ready. They talking junk with you. Yeah. He looks at the guy he's ready to fight. He turns, drops, boom. The guy had the little, on the West Coast, we used to wear the Nikes, the small ones. They're like almost like the low top Converse.
Yeah. One
of those shoes came off. I almost got rocked because it shocked me. He stunned everybody. So Billy, if you see this, this is true. Who does that? That's how crazy he is. He looked at, that's smart as hell, right? Another note, but what I meant to say about the Native people, they're very tough. I was in South Dakota, and I went in a sweat lodge with them. Have you guys ever experienced that?
Nah, what's a sweat lodge?
What do you mean? Like a sauna or like a steam room?
No, you're in a teepee.
Okay.
And about anywhere from 10 to 40 guys in a teepee that's only supposed to hold 8 people. They have hot stone fire going. And the people on the front row are really the gangsters. They are really tough. Listen to this. I'm not making this up. They throw water on the rocks so it steams it. So I remember when I first went in there, I was like, I can't breathe. I started freaking out. And I'm back on the 5th row. Like, it's not seats. We're on the ground, the earth, right? And so one of the Native brothers, he says, calm down. I said, buddy, I'm going to pass out. He says, just put your face in the dirt. Get in the cold earth and breathe. I said, I can't do it. I started panicking. I started praying. The first round, I think it was for, when I say round, they literally go for 20 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, what are you talking about? So by the time I got to the 3rd round, my face, I was digging the cold mud, trying to get the oxygen, right? I finally calmed the fuck down, and I was in the third round. I think was for our mother. I cried like a baby. When I came out the steam room, I looked at my native brothers different. I said, "These jokers are tough." Try it one time. Go to a session with them, man. It is amazing spiritually, but physically, it's tough.
Yeah, I can see that. That sounds wild. I tried to do the sauna with my boy Julius while he was cutting weight one time. I was like, nah.
It's rough, man.
It's rough.
See, the sauna, you know the door is close to you, right?
Yeah.
But we're in a black tent, and all you hear is the chanting, the singing, the crying, and I'm like, I'm going to die in here.
Yeah. That's wild.
You know, on a side note, Shawn, sometime, and we're not going to get into it right now, but sometime I want to have you on here when we have a little bit more time, maybe like an hour and a half, and I want to talk to you about like your young adult life. You know what I'm talking about. But I think that would be a cool subject that we could talk about on here sometime. Like I said, we'll do it when we have a little bit more time, man, because I would love
to come back. I would love to come back.
I think that'll be like a real cool thing to talk about, man. But growing up, I know that Shawn has told me that his older brother, who's a lot smaller than him, was like the toughest guy around, man. You have some fight stories about your brother?
I have so many you think I'm lying, right? We get to the wedding. Will and my brother Braden meet each other. Braden is probably, he says he's 5'7", but he's probably 5'4", 5'5", maybe. Lost a lot of weight. But Nico, men are like dogs. We can smell each other, right? We can smell each other's strength, right? Men, I don't care where they're from, what religion, what color, they can see another man and be like, that motherfucker is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And I promise you, when you see my brother under the right conditions, you'll be like, oh, shit. But he's calm now. He's spiritual. But regressing. As a child, he used to be very physical to me, beat the hell out of me. And I remember saying, when I get as big as my mom was only 5'2", I'm going to whoop his ass. I'm going to beat him. But so I remember, just give you one of the stories, and we'll do a whole other segment on him. I'm not just saying he's amazing because my brother. He didn't have the rhythm or the karate. He just had the sheer anger. So we're in a park, and I see these two Spanish boys coming. We were poor. We had one of those little plastic balls. We're throwing it. That's what poor kids do, make games out of anything.
Yeah, facts.
And he says to me, this is how in tune he was. He says, if they try something, I want you to run home. I'm like, wait, he always told me when he was whooping my ass, don't ever run. I'm confused as hell. So they start trying to take the ball. And my brother's like the perfect, you guys remember the Tasmanian Devil, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think deep down inside from all of his childhood anger, he just loved to fight. He loved it, brother. And so he just got in their shit. And I remember trying to stay and help him. But, I was probably weak as a kid, but he's like, I told you to run. Now, fast forward, right? I remember the first time I fought a black fighter in my life. Totally cultural shock to me, right? My first few fights were white fighters, right? And most of them were guys that thought they were wrestlers but didn't know how to protect themselves. So I get my licks. But I remember my first fight was with a black kid. He called me a cracker. I said, shut up, Charlie Brown. I thought Charlie Brown was racist. Charlie Brown's a white kid, right? This joker's speed and velocity. We were young. He kicked me and hit me a few times. And it opened me up to a whole new world that black and white fighters at the time fought totally different. Now it may be the lines might get blurred because of UFC and different training and people borrowing from different arts, but he fucked me up. Listen, then another story after that, I got beat by another man. I lost to a lot of black kids early on. My last 20 years, dudes were like, yo, I've never seen you lose to a fighter. You be knocking those brothers out. I said, well, listen, I learned early on fighting a black fighter, you better punch first, right? But my first few fights, man, black fighters were having their way with me. I must have been this slow white kid or something, right? So the kid beat me so bad that I remember saying, and my brother was there, and I remember saying, my brother's going to jump in. My brother's going to jump in. And I'm getting drugged and ain't got my rhythm together, just getting whooped. And he let me get whooped. And then he finally said he's had enough. And he took me home. He says, how does it feel? You embarrassed us out there. How does it feel? And almost from then, I never lost again. I mean, I'm sure I've lost to people, but that when you get your ass whooped real bad, you don't ever want that again, do you?
No, hell no.
Your brain starts thinking, what do I got to do? But listen, people don't talk the way I talk now. Everybody's politically correct. I thank God for going against great black fighters when I was young. It helped me in the next subject we're going to talk about. It helped me in school. It helped me in prison. Man, I was like, when I called that kid Charlie Brown, why did I say Charlie Brown? I thought that was going to offend him. It must have offended him because he dogged me, right? But isn't Charlie Brown a little white kid, right? He was, right? Charlie Brown.
Yo, facts. He was probably insulted. He was like, yo, I ain't no little white kid.
He was like, yo, I'm going to get you. He got me, man. Hey, what if thank God they didn't have video cameras then. They'd be watching me. White kid calls black kid Charlie Brown and gets fucked up.
World star.
Hey, I don't ever want to lose again in public. No, listen. Because somebody will be like, yeah, I got you, buddy.
For real, man. For real. Hey, on a side note, away from the fighting and all that, man, I wanted to ask you what your thoughts of the whole Dave Chappelle drama going on are right now. Me and Nico talked for a minute, I think, about it last episode, but I mean, what are your thoughts of it?
You want my real honest thoughts, or you want my politically correct thoughts?
No, just hit me with your real honest thoughts. Just don't go crazy and end up on.
No, fuck that. Go crazy.
Listen, I only know one way to. Get the
show pulled. Get the show pulled. Go crazy.
Yeah, get us kicked, man.
We got more games on deck. You think it's stop at the Fight Guys podcast? We got more on deck. Fight Legends next.
Right. What kind of world we living in when we hurt people's feelings can get you shut down? In Islam and the Arabic language, they say kulin sadida. That means say a straight word. The connotation doesn't mean to be offensive. Now, in the hood term, Scarface and the Ghetto Boys came out with a song, You Gotta Let Your Nuts Hang. That's what Dave Chappelle did. He got out there and spoke his truth. He said, man, he was talking about the baby. He says, pretty much referring to black males getting killed. It's okay to kill a male, i.e. black male, and your career can go on. But if you hurt the feeling of gay people or this specific community, that you'll be shut down, that's bullshit. I stand with him. He's solid. To me, he's been a religious, social, economic scholar. Dave, listen, when can you think back to any one of Dave Chappelle's skits, stand-ups where you didn't learn?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember he played the Klan member? Do you realize how deep that was? Because he was showing the stupidity of the Klan and white separatism or white supremacy philosophy. See, there's no way today that white people can claim a supremacist ideal because we know how humans have evolved. Now they can claim a separatist ideal, but Dave Chappelle was dropping jewels and most people weren't even ready for it. I love the brother. I'd be in a room with 10,000, let me see if I can say it right, LGBTQ angry activists, and I stand with them. Just like I'd stand with them about saying black jokes, right? Or saying white jokes. Man, I grew up on Richard Pryor, crackers all the time. That shit was funny.
Yep.
That was funny, man. We live in America. We're not supposed to be scared to talk.
Red Fox talking shit about white people and Puerto Ricans. I mean,
that was the best. That's our escape, man. That's our. If we got to censor the listen, somebody I don't believe in make America great again because it depends on great to whom? The slaves, the indigenous people that were being murdered, the poor whites. So I'm not sitting that pitch, but there was a time, I'm talking about comedy now. Mm-hmm. I remember from 60s to probably 2000, whenever, it was okay to speak your mind.
Yeah, man.
This idea that if you offend a certain group, I feel like, fuck it, offend everybody. That's what makes comedy good. I was supposed to, I used to go to black comic skills because for some reason, all my life I've gravitated towards black women. That's been my natural attraction, right? My buddies used to joke, before it's popular, I liked big, thick black women when I was young in a little sandbox. That's who I gravitated to. Right? Right. That's with me before it was popular. Now it's popular, right? So, but to say that, you know, it's just, I just lost my train of thought. I started talking about sexy women, and go ahead. But yeah.
Yo, look, it's like this though. You can't be a part of the LGBTQ, talk about that you want equality for all, and then you get a comedian who comes out there that's a can man, meaning anybody can get it. Yeah. And he gave it to y'all, and now y'all want to be mad at him? Nah, he included y'all. Because y'all not mad when he do the race talk. Y'all not mad when he bag on the president. Y'all not mad about none of that shit. So we can't be mad when he get on y'all too. It's funny. It's funny. All of the good jokes contain true shit. And if you listen to what he's saying and you think, hey, this is actually semi-true, if you can hear some truth in it, laugh, motherfucker.
Hey, look.
Good point, Nico.
It's funny to me, right? Because my whole life I've liked stand-up comedy. Like I said earlier, Red Fox, he was dissing everybody. Eddie Murphy was. Look, back when I was in high school, my favorite stand-up comedy show was the one with Chris Rock when he talked about OJ. Do you think I had a problem when he said cracker ass cracker? Hell no, I laughed even harder, man. I thought it was hilarious. You can't laugh at yourself. You can't laugh at jokes that this dude's telling. I mean, it's too much, man. I think it's just ridiculous. And I think he needs to stand his ground.
You know what? I was watching there was some people protesting outside of Netflix, and this guy went with a sign. A white guy, heavyset, went to support Dave Chappelle. They started breaking the sign, getting in his face, blowing horns. Man, America is turning pussy, y'all.
Oh, facts.
You're right.
Well, let me rephrase that, because I should say America's turning limp dick. We always use the term pussy for weak. A pussy is durable. That's where life comes from. A pussy is
powerful. Powerful, almighty.
Man, from the time we come out, are we trying to find a way to see back?
Big facts. That's my guy.
Right.
You're talking about language. I'm hungry.
Nico, are you in a relationship or are you single?
I'm a married man.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So in your past life, gotcha. Okay.
Hey, Shawn, did you watch any of the fights this weekend that happened? There were some UFC fights and Bellator, any of that kind of stuff. Did you check any of that out?
You guys are gonna laugh at me. I'm getting old, brother. Check this out. Every time your podcast goes on, I'm 2 hours into the bed. So no, I haven't. I always watch the highlights. Israel and the other gentleman just fought, right?
Israel Adesanya. That was a couple months ago. Yeah, about 2 months ago.
Who just fought?
Okay, but no, I didn't. So I'm really not a good guest to talk on that. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, it's straight, my guy.
I just we'll talk about the fights from this past weekend on Wednesday when we talk about these fights coming up this weekend, Nico. Yeah. Hey, as far as fight movies go, I want to go back to something real quick. Have you ever watched the Undisputed movies, like after Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames weren't in them anymore, like number 2, 3, and 4? Shawn, have you seen those?
You're gonna laugh. No, I haven't. I haven't.
Me neither. He was asking me about this as well. I only saw the one with Ving Rhames and Wesley.
This is what happened. So they're really good.
Wait, in the prison?
Yeah.
Okay, you saw the one in the. Did you see the one where Michael Jai White, he picked up Ving Rhames' character?
Yes, I saw that second one.
Okay. Right. Okay, you saw the second one.
Yes.
And then Scott Adkins was like the adversary in that. But the third and fourth one, it was Scott Adkins and Michael Jai White wasn't in them. And man, there's some very, very good fight scenes in those. Stuff.
But they started getting over the top with that shit, man.
The third one, not. The fourth one, yes. The fourth one, they had this one dude that was in the WWE for a little while. He's fucking huge. That was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, 3 and 4 were pretty good though.
Look,
Okay.
man, look, I love martial arts and crazy kung fu kicks just as much as the next man.
Mhm.
But when we're doing prison fight scenes, I want to see you throw them fucking hands, and I want to see the legit kicks. I don't want to see you doing no 540 spin hook kicks and shit like that. Don't just be where I know it looks great, but come on, when have you ever watched a scrap in the street and saw somebody bust out a double spinning pirouette hook kick to somebody's face, my boy?
Not lately, man.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you, speaking of prison movies that are good fighting, you guys ever seen Animal with Ving Rhames?
Mm-mm.
That's a good movie. You seen that?
Is it?
Yeah, bro, that's a real good movie, man. He was a bad dude. You want to talk about some like realistic fights, bro? He was just trying to kill people with his bare hands in that movie. And basically that's what they treated him like. He was an animal, and they just used him for entertainment, fighting other inmates like the guards and stuff. But go ahead, man. I saw you getting ready to say something, Shawn. What was it?
No, I remember you were showing me a video of Nico. Nico, you still doing those, like, that, to me, that's amazing, because I'm a fat ass and I can barely lift my legs anymore, right? You still can do all those fancy kicks?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the life. That's the life. That's in me forever.
Let me know when you're going to have an episode when you're showing off. I'll watch.
Yeah, man. We got to figure something out. I'll do one live from the gym or something.
Right. Listen, I was always growing up as a headhunter, like a boxer, right? Will's a wrestler. You're a martial artist, man. That's a blessing, man.
Yeah,
It's
man.
crazy.
Oh, Nico's a wrestler too.
Oh, he is? Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
I'm well-rounded.
Somebody's in trouble with him.
Hey, look, man, we need Shawn, we need to get some sponsors behind us, and we need to film like an action film starring Nico, man. I'm telling you. We need to do it.
I almost had something. The production didn't come through, man. The money didn't come through for the film, but I was almost on to something.
Look, he's got his camera right there, man. We're ready to roll.
Hey. Isn't it crazy now that when you film movies with stuff, the 4K and the 8K cameras this small?
That tiny.
You remember back in the day, it was huge. I mean,
huge, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that, man. Because Will, what'd you let me see? It was something of doing these fancy kicks and.
Yeah, it's right here, man. I pulled it up when you were saying that, man. Let me I'll show you real quick. Let me see. Let's see real quick. Where's it at? Nico, don't get embarrassed, man. Don't get embarrassed.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Nico, where you living now? What city?
I'm in Rhode Island.
Oh, that's
North Providence.
This is just a sample of what I can do.
Look at the sick.
That boy was skin and bones. We gotta do this again.
Yeah, we do. Oh. Nico, are you about $130 right there?
149.
All right.
Hey, is that Sammy did the beat?
Yeah, of course. It was one of my beats that he made for me.
Woo!
Where's that guy at? It's so funny. This is where the boxing gym that I train out of now is, Will.
That's where it is?
Yeah, it's just been converted.
Nice. Look at that. I could do that.
We need to have a movie about. You're right, Will. Golly.
That's Michelangelo and Bruce Leroy. I don't even have those no more. I gifted those to one of my students.
Oh, did you? Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'll let my boy have those.
Brother, you're the real deal, man.
Oh, man, thank you. So that seems like such a past lifetime right now. Shit, crazy how time go.
Yep.
That shit say.
Oh.
Like that. There you go. Finish it out. There you go.
That was great coaching by my dad. Finish it out. Real step-by-step stuff.
Hey, you could tell it was your dad from the jeans and the high tops.
Yeah.
Damn, they're fighting on the floor now.
The hardwood, baby.
I got an idea for him. A money idea.
All right, what you got?
Talk privately.
Yeah, let's do
Hey,
that.
listen. We're going to get him a big money fight. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm going to talk the shit to get the motherfuckers mad. We're going to get it. Hey, I got
who you want?
Whoever you want. Mayweather? Who you want?
I want a Paul brother.
Huh?
I want a Paul brother.
What's that Paul brother money?
I want that Paul brother money. Yeah. That's exciting. No, actually, I would chop down to 145 for O'Malley.
For O'Malley?
Yeah, 100%. I'll chop down to 145 for O'Malley.
Man, I can see you coming out with the pit bull on the front. Look, now I'm trying to give a shout out to Foaming at the Mouth. Foaming at the Mouth sponsor, Fight Gods on the what?
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hey,
I'm gonna change my name. I'm gonna change my name instead of Shawn King. Everybody's gonna hate me, but I'm gonna get us a big money fights.
Yes.
That's what's up. Nico, it looked like that one guy though, man. It looked like he was just kind of falling into stuff, man.
Which one?
Like he was really trying. The one that you choked out, man.
Oh my God, bro, that body kick where homie said he didn't like that. That was such a brutal body kick. That was such a brutal. And actually, prior to that, I had went up against his homeboy, and I tore my LCL in the leg that I was actually throwing. I had torn my LCL in the fight prior to that, so I was getting him up out of there.
You're a maniac. Yeah, I was just fucking around, man. But nah, he just looked outmatched.
No, facts. And he was short, dude. And like I came in there 149 for that. Like I had chopped probably 20 pounds before that competition. I want just to prove a point too. I wanted to go in as the lightweight, and then I wanted to compete in the grand championship versus the heavyweight and win. And I did.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. All right. We're gonna have to bring this to an end, Shawn. What kind? You got some shout outs? You wanted to shout out your daughters, your wife? I mean, you did shout her out already, but like, who do you want to shout out, man? Who you want to talk about? What else you want to cover before we go?
God, my grandbabies, my children. I've shot them out enough. No, all jokes aside, all my daughters. I love them. Very proud of them. Catalina, Chandra, Mookie, Jordan, Camila. That's 5. Grandbabies, Kyrie, and London. I want to shout out you two brothers. This is amazing. I'm sorry I'll never get to be on the shows. The first one, I think I was up. I'm usually in bed by then. Thank you guys for having me. I'm real serious about this. Let's start filming again. Let's get him a money fight.
Let's do something, man. For real, I'm down, man. And as far as if anybody wants to check out your videos, I put out here for them to search Khalil Foaming on YouTube. Anywhere else they can watch any of your stuff, or is that the best place?
Just type in Shawn Spilman on YouTube or something like that. It'll come up. Okay. Yeah. No, that's for, but you got to spell it with 1 I and 1 L. I'm not famous, so hey, but thank you guys for having me, man. It's been a pleasure.
Oh yeah, we loved having you on, man. Nico, you want to take it to the house?
Oh, you already know what time it is. There is no need to adjust your screen. It's not Bruce Buffer, but you've been here live at TFG. It's your boy Willie G. It's your boy Nico, and we've had Shawn Spilman here for episode what, Will? Bang.
69.
Episode 69 is Will's favorite fucking number. Spillman came through for a good fucking episode. My guys, thank you all. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
That was the best way to go out. His favorite number.
Be good, guys.